Hello everyone, we're back at it again today with part 2 of whatever I decide to name this video. And hello, thank you for coming. We are at the map called Nuked and we're playing Killing Floor 2, talking about weird things children do. Children are very strange. And I'm going to be numbering the things I'm talking about in the video, but I'm referring to the numbers as in correlation to the last video, which I did like 1 through 4 or something like that, and now I'm doing like 5 through 7 or 8, I don't even know. But I hope you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, and on to the show. Alright, number probably 5. Eating food in weird ways. And so I know kids can be like picky eaters and all that, and that kids can get like latched onto certain foods or will only eat certain foods, and so I mean that's pretty normal because kids are weird. But it's strange to me how like sometimes they just like make up things like, you know, the choo-choo train to help you eat your food, or like the airplane, and I don't know, just random things. But the weirdest thing I can think of when I was a kid is if I didn't like whatever my mom made for dinner. And let me tell you, she made a lot of gross things that were super healthy. And the healthy part wasn't my objection, since I liked fruits and vegetables as a kid, and one of my favorite snacks was eating frozen green beans. My objection back then was she just wasn't experienced enough with cooking to actually make things taste good. And so what I would do was, after everyone left the table, I would pretend I was a race car, and then I would take a spoonful of the food, pretending it was like my gas, and then I would run around the table until I'd finished chewing and swallowing the bite, and then I would like refuel at the pit stop, taking another bite full of food and running around the table, or like the living room. And it made eating dinner take twice as long, but I think since it was something I really didn't want to do, I turned it into a game so it was like more bearable and it wasn't as bad since I was distracted. And like, I mean, other times we were all eating together as a family, in addition to like spreading food around my plate to make it look like I was eating, since if my parents noticed I wasn't eating, they would like say things and I'd get in trouble and all that. Anyway, so I'd push things around my plate. I would shove a huge amount of food into my mouth, and then I'd go to the bathroom and like spit it out in the toilet. And if my parents ever heard the splash, I would say that, oh, I had explosive diarrhea. And that ended the conversation, since it was dinner time and nobody wanted to think about that. I don't know if they ever caught on, since I was pretty strategic about when I would go to the bathroom. And, you know, I'd make sure my parents were really into the, you know, whatever conversation they were having and all that. And usually you had to make sure you were doing it when it was in the middle of dinner, because if you try to do it in the beginning of dinner, the parents are going to be like, well, why didn't you go to the bathroom before dinner? And if you try to do it towards the end of dinner, then they're going to be like, well, just wait till you finish eating your food and then you can go to the bathroom. Or that's just how my parents were. I don't know if that's normal or not. But anyways, other times to like avoid the food, since again, it was dreadfully disgusting, I would say that I was full, but that always backfired when I said I was full, since the next morning my mom wouldn't let me have breakfast food, and she would like make me eat the dinner from the night before. What a great way to start the day. And so since a lot of it was really gross and would literally make me gag, I just wouldn't eat breakfast, and if I was lucky, keyword lucky, I would be allowed to have normal food for lunch. Or when my mom was busy somewhere else in the house, I would go on a ninja mission to try to scavenge any food from the kitchen and then sneak it into my room. We weren't allowed to eat in our room, so I always had to be like super careful not to leave any crumbs in case my mom found them, and figured out my whole deal. Thinking about it now though, oh my gosh, it was so messed up. And I realized that you do need to do what your parents say, because, you know, they're parents and respect authority and, you know, all that. And, like, you need to eat what they feed you, because you're lucky they're feeding you, and not throwing you out on the street. But I mean, come on, if your kid is literally gagging, like I was, because of your awful cooking, although everybody else seemed to like it, but for me, it was awful and it made me gag, and I was okay with starving because it was so disgusting. And this is a growing grade school child, you know. If your kid's gagging, let them eat something else, okay? Like, if they're having such a huge reaction, and you know your kid's a good kid, and you know they're not being rebellious, it's just because they literally can't eat your food, let them eat something else, or let them help you make dinner next time, or, like, let them make their own dinner, which my mom eventually did once I got older. she eventually, after years of this, let me make my own dinner. But my point is, don't starve your kids because of, like, power games or being like, you're disrespecting me, you want to eat your food, or just don't freaking starve your kids, man. Not cool. And I mean, I've talked to my mom about this years and years later, and she's like, yeah, I really wish I didn't do that. That was, like, slightly parentally abusive, sort of. I got it from my mom, and I'm so sorry I did that to you. So I finally got the apology I needed. So my mother has seen the error of her ways, and we're just blaming her mother. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you. Anyways, that got heavy. So we're going to the next one. I don't know what number this is. 5, 6, 7. Who knows? But here we go. Next one. Collecting random things. As many kids do, they like collecting strange things. And I am not talking about a rock or a shell collection, my friend. Oh, no. Or like a weird toy, like Legos or little pet shops. I am talking about strange things such as pencils, erasers, pocket lint, belly button lint. You know, just weird stuff. When I, personally, was in grade school, again, all these weird things happen in grade school because that's when you're the most childlike, I was absolutely obsessed with finding and collecting these little circular seed pod things that fell from a tree that was by my house, and I have tried so hard researching what kind of seed pod this is and from what tree, but I cannot find anything, which is sad because I wanted to show you a picture of my obsession for a while when I was in grade school. So if you know of any seed pods that are about 1 inch all the way around, 1 inch, half-inch circles that are hollow inside, have a very thin membrane, and are light tan, let me know in the comments, because I would love to know the name of this strange seed pod. But anyways, I was absolutely obsessed with collecting those, and this one time I accidentally smashed one, and I started crying. I was obsessed. It was weird. Also, apparently, some of these weird seed pod things had insect eggs inside of them, and they started hatching, which meant our house became infested with whatever those bugs were. My mom traced the start of the bug problem to my room, or like our playroom, or wherever I stashed the seed pods, and she asked if I had anything from like outside. And I told her, oh yeah, I have these like seed pod things that I've been collecting for months now. And that was a very sad day, full of tears and regret for telling my mother the truth. She made me throw them all away. And she said that if she ever caught me bringing them inside again, that I'd get in trouble. Yeah, it was a very sad day, but I don't know why I wanted to collect those in the first place. I thought they were really cool. I mean, maybe it's because they were so delicate. I don't even know. But I don't know, let me know in the comments if you ever collected strange things as a child. Alright, this last piece, this is related to playing with everyday objects like pencils, hair clips, rocks, I don't know, rubber bands. But like, I just want to know, did other people play with random things that are not like toys, but they like still acted like they were toys? Like, for example, I had plenty of toys growing up, but I would go into the bathroom and I would fill up the sink, and then I would play with all of my sister's hair clips. There were wars, there was a crocodile that was one of the hair clips, there was drowning, there was death. It was all very, very intense. I had such a blast, man. Like, just playing with those hair clips, I would go in there and play with those for hours. And sometimes my mom or dad would walk into the bathroom and be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, I'm playing. And they just leave and not ask too many questions, or I play games with my pencils when I was supposed to be doing schoolwork, and then I pretend they had personalities, and it was just weird. Like, did anybody ever play with non-toy designated things, or was this just a me thing? I don't know. But anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your view and your likes, and until next time.